Have you been thinking about your financial future? Maybe even about when or whether you will ever be able to stop work? I've got the perfect gift for you. It's a free online audit that's been taken by over 1,100 people already. And you want to know the shocking fact? They are scoring on average 53.1% of readiness. That means that they're only 50% ready, both mentally or financially, for their futures, for maybe retirement or certainly work downsizing. Why don't you take the audit and see how you score? Are you more prepared or are you less prepared? Don't worry, whatever the answer, I produced a clear and precise PDF report for you based on your score that will give you the next steps that you need to take to both improve your score and improve your readiness to retire wealthy. Click the link below. Let me ask you a question. What if retirement wasn't the end of work, but actually the start of a whole life that is designed entirely on your terms? Welcome to today's episode of A Wealthy Life with me, your host, Vicky O'Shea. And as you'll notice if you're watching on YouTube, and you'll find out in a minute, I'm joined by two guests this week. And we're going to be flipping the script on retirement so that it's not just about the traditional wait till someone tells you you have permission to go out into the world. It's about forgetting the idea of slowing down, of cutting back, anything like that. Instead, what we're going to be talking about is a hybrid retirement. It's a powerful blend of understanding your purpose, what your income needs are, what you want to do with that freedom that you're going to get when you have the flexibility to work a little, to live a lot, and to do more of what matters to you most. So let me welcome my guests, Chris and Susan Beasley. They are former accountants and management consultants, now in their 70s, although Susan and I have just realized that we are birthday twins. And they're living it, they're coaching it, and they are thoroughly enjoying the hybrid life. And we're going to have a conversation over the next 45 minutes or so to help you reimagine what your second act might be. Not as a time of loss or regret or anything else, but as a time of possibilities. And if you're curious about designing a lifestyle that keeps you active, financially secure, full of passion, then we want to make this conversation the spark for your thinking. And quite frankly, if this doesn't spark your interest, you definitely need to get in touch. So Chris and Susan, welcome.
Thank you, Vicky.
What a lovely introduction.
My pleasure. Well, I really appreciate you squeezing me in and amongst all your hybridness. So I really value your time. And I'd like to bombard you with some questions. So Chris, Susan, and I are all part of a collective of 22 authors that have contributed to the Inspire Book 2. And you'll know that this is the fourth in a series of podcasts about that book, which coincidentally is being launched today, the 14th of July. And we've all swapped chapters with one another and had a read. And it's interesting how there are so many sort of similarities that come through, although we're looking at it from slightly different approaches. But I really want to sort of like drill in to you about your experience of creating the life that you've created, what triggered it, how you went about it. And I know that when I read your chapter, and hopefully others will be buying the book and reading your chapter shortly, you started to realize that conventional retirement didn't really work for you, that it was an outdated model. What was it that caused that to happen, if you'd like to share?
Yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem whatsoever. So having been accountants and management consultants, and we worked together for now 25 years.
I think I'll keep him.
So we've been together 35 years, but we've worked together for 25 years, maybe a bit longer. But the thing for us was, having been second time married, we got a blended family of 5 children. And both being self-employed, you get to your early 50s, maybe your 50s, and you go, well, okay, hang on a minute. All of a sudden, retirement's on the horizon, and you start looking at it and you think, well, at that time, I think it was 15 years away, the official retirement age, if you want to call it that. And we thought, well, okay, it's about time we started looking at this funding of this thing. And as I said, having been self-employed and raising a blended family, you know, our money was going out on the family and not on our future. And so we did some research and investigation. And at that time, property investment was all the thing, certainly in the UK anyway. And so we thought, okay, let's go and learn how to do that. And so we found ourselves a course, and we went to learn to do property investment properly because we knew there were a lot of pitfalls. So we did that. We invested some money in property. This was 2005. This all started. And so
it'd be interesting to know whether we did the same course back then, because my course was 2008. Did the course that you took now have many different names?
I think it morphed over the years, finally came to a not a very nice end, and actually the owners got put away.
Oh, okay. So maybe that was one of the other ones.
Okay,
Okay, we'll have that conversation off-piste afterwards.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Okay, cool.
So that's where we met.
Wow.
It was going great for 3 years.
So you met at the property investment?
No, we
we already knew each other. We were
Right.
known each other for 35 years.
Oh yeah, you said, you know, when you said.
So we did this course, and 2008 it came along, and of course, like a lot of people, property investment didn't provide the promised lovely pension, the generous pension that it was originally aimed to be.
and we were in a pickle.
And we were in a pickle.
That was our pension.
That was where we realized, okay, our thoughts on retirement were we'd love travel. We wanted to travel the world. We wanted to, in actual fact, at that time, we actually wanted to go and live in France, in the French Alps, and go skiing every day.
We all have dreams, don't we?
And run a ski chalet.
Yes. Yeah, around about that time, I wanted to buy an apartment in Egypt and run a dive school until I came to my senses and went, I love scuba diving. Why would I want to spend my time under the water having to look after muppets that are going to kill themselves if I don't make sure that I corral them and bring them to the surface again afterwards? And we decided, no, absolutely do not buy a dive school.
That was like a wise decision you made there. You get it, 100%.
Yeah, because we'd actually bought a property in the French Alps.
Our process.
Part of our process, and we were going to develop it. We were going to renovate this old barn that was built in 1779 and turn it into a ski chalet.
And did you?
And we did. And the purpose of it was to generate an income for our retirement, because we would rent it out to a ski tourist company. And that was very fashionable then. Everyone was running ski chalet holidays. Everyone wanted to have these super experiences, and things were going really nicely then. But France then changed the laws, as they do. So you couldn't get English staff, chalet hosts, etc., because of the change in rules in employment and stuff. So the whole market changed, and the ski touring companies decided to pull out of that market. And we went up with another little problem on our hands. So we became ski chalet hosts. That's when we discovered, like you with the dive business, this is not our cup of tea.
No.
But we struggled through it.
The hospitality industry was not for us.
It's demanding, isn't it? I
mean, very demanding.
Anything that involves you working with other human beings, or animals for that matter, is demanding. Don't know why you do it.
But I think it's interesting to share these experiences, Vicky, and thank you for asking, because we all come across challenges and obstacles in our lives, but it's the mindset shifts that we have that enable us to move forward into a new journey, a new roadmap, if you like. And I think podcasts like this, where we get to explain those kinds of things, people go, oh, I'm no different to you, actually, because I've had the same kind of things happen. And retirement, of course, right now is one of those big questions. Is there going to be such a thing? Will we retire ever?
What is it?
What is it even?
Yeah. What will it
Why
look
I
like?
love this book, because wow, there's some great ideas in there.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is, it's this idea that if you follow the traditional route, you wait for permission. And then if you're lucky, you might have had a little bit of a corporate seminar that prepares you, maybe, maybe not. And then all of a sudden D-Day comes, or R-Day comes, and you're flipped out the other side with no necessarily plan, no purpose, no passion, no thoughts of what you will do. I mean, a loss of identity, a loss of structure today, all that stuff going on, massive amount of change. And the idea that retirement, if we're going to keep using that word for a moment, that retirement is a thing that can be defined. But actually, I don't know about you, but since I've been doing it, again, since about 2008, I've done that many different things and thought of that many different ideas. So really, it's I think it's been not quite 20 years for me, but now some 15 years forward of I've had a go at this for a bit. And then we were talking about offline about, you know, what your business is, what's the other side of hybrid. And I'm going to come to that in a minute. But it's not fixed in cement. Like you had a job as an accountant, you were an accountant. This was the hat, this was the suit, you stay that because you put so much effort into learning to be an accountant and all of those skills, you got to be it to maximize it. But there's a different personality to us when we come out the other side, because now you have choice. And what you can do is choose to do something for the next year or two. And maybe that'll be where you get your holiday bug out the way. You just have loads and loads and loads of holidays and you get, all right, okay, I've had a fair few holidays. Now I'd actually like to sort of settle somewhere or do something, or maybe take a year off and you drive from here down to South Africa and across to Australia or whatever you want to do. And then you change your mind and then you go, right, okay, so now I need a bit more something for my brain, or I need a bit more for my heart, or I need a bit more generally for my body, or whatever it is. And then you'll do something else for a few more years. What does hybrid retirement look like in real life for you? This idea of combining work, leisure, freedom. I mean, we're recording this episode and I'm about to go swimming after this. And, you know, I look all right this side, but down below are a pair of shorts. You're looking very smart on the top, and I don't know what's below the screen for you.
No, a pair of shorts.
There you go. And I would flag up that's because it's all incredibly hot here. But what do you do, for example, on a Tuesday afternoon or a Thursday morning? How does this work for you?
That's a very good question, actually.
Yeah, I think
When we get out of bed, of course.
I mean, for us, life is very flexible. Okay, so as well as having a pension, we run an online business. And we've done that for 15 years. The reason we started that, the reason we had the change, and I just want to bring this up, is because we were talking about earlier about, the change in your mindset from being, and you said, okay, being an accountant. I'm an accountant, I had a grey hat and a grey suit and a red tie.
Very respectful.
Well, that was the perception. And, you think, I'm going to be an accountant for the rest of my life. But for me, that was never good enough. I'm very entrepreneurial and always have been. But you need to be able to look at something and say, right, okay, I've got a challenge here. Like we had a challenge when our pension pot decided to go the way of 2008. We had to find another way, because the work we were doing, although it was earning us a lot of money, it was all time for money. It was all driven by our clients. And even when we went on holiday, the introduction of these things was the thing that ever happened. because it meant our clients could ring us when we were on the ski slopes, you know.
And they did.
And they did. Yeah, they did. We know you're on holiday, but. And so we had to have a change of mindset to become, what else can we do? How can we overcome this challenge? Now, the way it came about was we were actually researching online for education that we could use to help our clients bring their businesses online. And we got that, and we thought, well, we found a product, and we thought, this is really good. We also discovered within it that we could actually build a business with it. We could actually sell the product and earn an income. And we thought, this might be interesting. But of course, sort of, life gets in the way as it does. And 9 months went by and this product sat on the shelf.
We used it to help our clients, but not ourselves. But we learned a heck of a lot.
So it was, so we continued, and then one day, just one day, we just booked our skiing holiday it's in November, and we booked our skiing holiday for Christmas and New Year. And it was the first time we were going to be on a skiing holiday for about 3 years. So we were really looking forward to it. And one of our clients, actually our largest client, decided that a computer system change that we'd been working on for the previous year and was due to be installed the following June, they wanted to bring it forward to January. So all of a sudden, we've got clients again dictating to us what we're going to do, and we've got to cancel our holiday because we couldn't achieve the objective with a 2-week holiday in there. Now, that might not seem much to anybody, you or anybody who's watching this, but it's what we call a trigger point.
Totally.
So
I'm triggered for you.
No, thank you.
So something happens and you go, that's it, we're not doing this anymore.
We can laugh about it now, but
not at the time.
I mean, we can remember the night it happened. It was peeing rain and, it was horrible, but we can remember it. And that was our trigger point to do something new. And the first thing we did after that, we had a discussion about it. And we said, right, the guy who sold us that product, he's got this online business. We're going to go and talk to him. Now, that was a mindset shift in itself, wasn't it?
Yes. He was the same way for such. Like, can this guy really help us achieve what we want? But this is something that people often wonder, and it goes through their head. But you have to look at, has that person achieved what I want to achieve?
Yes.
And will they help and guide me? Now, it sounds a bit airy-fairy, but literally that's what went through our head. So we thought, we'll talk to him. And he said, yes, I can. And he did. And that has been our byword, if you like, ever since we started building our online business. Because people ask the same questions. Well, will you help me? Will you give me a plan? Will you show me what to do? And we can say, honestly, hand on heart, and we got so many testimonials that verify it. Yes, we will. And we have. And that's how our business has evolved into the hybrid lifestyle that we have today, because we can literally do just that from any location in the world, although here in Spain, and that's rather nice. But going back to your original question, that's how our day is. We have calls booked. We do marketing. We're out on social media. We share our life. We share our business, what we're doing. And the right people are attracted to us and go, can you help me, Chris and Susan? What is it that you do? Would it suit me?
Equally, we had a friend come and stay with us last Thursday, was it?
Yeah. Oh, really successful mum.
So
lovely lady.
She came to stay with us for a few days. So we became tourists until Wednesday.
Yeah.
So,
No work.
So we just said, right, okay, we'll just switch off. But it didn't mean to say we weren't still working, or our systems weren't still working. This was still running for us.
Yes, the business is still running. So this is the idea of, I'm never fond of passive, but residual income.
Residual, yes.
Yeah, it's exactly the same for me with the properties. Like you, I started in 2008, but because I did buy-to-lets, drop in value didn't make any difference. I still had the rental income. I think the thing for me is that I'm not hearing, and maybe it's just because you haven't said it like this, structure. So I'm quite structured about my time, because my time is very valuable. I know I give a lot of value when I speak to a client, but it's also very valuable to me, to the point where no amount of money, really makes that difference. Almost like that pivot point for you with, or trigger point you called it, with the holiday. So I tend to condense my work between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I know we're recording on a Monday, but it's because I'm in grandson mode, and so I'm shifting everything around. But traditionally, I don't work Mondays and Fridays, so I know I can always slot a long weekend, and that's when the bulk of my swimming is around Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is the bulk of my swimming. So I tend to, if somebody wants to speak to me, so like guide them towards those slots. And then I also have something called the happy calendar, which is basically at the end of each year, we look forward to the year coming. You stick in all your birthdays, you stick in all your anniversaries and all the things that you want to have. And I use a red pen, and that blocks all of those periods out. And then I go, oh, there's not a lot on in January, but stick a holiday in there, or look for, a concert or a theatre or whatever, and then put something in. So every week there's something, every month there's something, every quarter there's something. And I put that in the calendar first, so that shapes my time. But it sounded to me like you were more flexible than I am.
We are way, way more flexible. Not for any reason that what you do isn't a good thing. It is, but it just isn't us. We've as accountants and management consultants, our days had always been like that, totally driven by the calendar, driven by time. Weekends, which should have been us and our family time, became preparation for work for the following week time.
Yeah.
So I think, having gone through that, the way we approach it now is we look at what our commitments are with calls, trainings that we do for the programs that we actually are aligned with, because of what we know and how we approach it, we get asked to coach their clients. So we know there are fixed things in our calendar that we do, and one actually is on a Saturday afternoon and a Monday afternoon our time, but they're important to us, so they are fixed. Other than that, we're pretty much driven by what the day's looking like. If we've got no calls, if we've done our social media work, our marketing in advance, we'll go, right, let's go to the beach today. It doesn't suit everybody, but we've got things so well set up with automation, because we've learnt it and we teach it. And with AI, of course, it's a whole new ball game, but it has given us that lifestyle work balance that has become our hybrid lifestyle plan, and it's what people want.
I think the other thing is, because we've got mobile phones nowadays, wherever we are, we can, if somebody books an appointment, then we know about it. Doesn't matter whether we're sitting here in front of the computer or whether we're down on the beach or driving in the car. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We know about it. And then we'll work around that, or we might have to change it or whatever, So we manage our diary, I guess, week to week. As Susan said, there are things that are blocked out because of their training times and things. But we might look at this week. So I can tell you for this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are totally blocked out.
Because we can't take calls.
Because on Wednesday we're going back to the UK. And then next week on Tuesday, we're going to an event in the States, and we're there for 5 days before we come back. So we have to
get a nice block there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we work as we want to work, I guess. And if we want to take a few days off, we take a few days off. Sort of that flexible, and we say, right, okay, what are we going to do? Let's go and have a holiday. Although, to be perfectly honest, living when we do on the cost of living.
Yeah, you're like a permanent holiday, aren't you?
Yeah, it's hard to get out of vacation mode. I will tell you that, to be perfectly honest.
But this was something that was never really on the cards to do as a retirement. As I said earlier, we were going to go and spend our retirement in French Alps skiing. But things changed, and the pandemic helped with that as well. And so we decided, hang on a minute, let's go and live in Europe, because all of our children are in their 40s. We've got
happy, got them
very happy. We've got 7 grandchildren. We see them as and when we see them. They either come here now or we go there. But it got to time for us, if you like.
Yeah.
It got to time for us. And
I think that's important, isn't it? Actually, we're wandering off maybe the topic of retirement, but I think it ties in that when you're younger, you're so busy financially providing for your own family and nurturing your own family, whatever that shape looks like, whether it's just one unit or whether it's, as you said, your blended families, whatever that looks like, your drive is go to work, career, earn money, keep family alive, go to work, earn money, career, keep family alive. And it just switches around those 4. And now you're in a position where you have the choice, and you've chosen, if I can put words into your mouth, to put Chris and Susan first, by the sound of it. What you've chosen, because what suits you and the time that you started, and it's different for everyone, but the word choice is important, that what you have chosen is to carry on with one of your passions, which is helping others to get online to their businesses. And then the other passion is whatever fills the day. So it might be going to the beach, it might be visiting friends, it might be traveling for education and whatever else, or it could be traveling to see family, whatever that is. So you've got this passion, purpose thing going on here, and that's a choice. And then all of this other stuff that is a choice as well. Would that sort of summarize how you've got the blended family and now you've got the blended life?
Absolutely. It's our ikigai. That's it. Can't say any better than that. But it doesn't suit everyone. But we find from the way our marketing is that people want the lifestyle that we have, and they want a vehicle to give it to them. They don't necessarily want to create a course around their hobby or passion. We can help them do that if they do. We have ways of doing that. They want something that is giving them back their time. And that generally is pretty much our ideal client. They've just hit that point in their life and they've gone, I'm not sure I want to retire, but I do want a life. I do enjoy work. I don't want to stop work, but I want to do something that keeps my mind active, and from which I can earn a little bit of extra or a lot of extra money that gives me the choices, your favorite word, to do the things I always planned to. And we hear this conversation over and over and over again. And it is such a strong thing. So most of our marketing tends to be lifestyle stuff. People go, why you're always shouting, you've been out sailing on a yacht, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. Because we designed a business that gives us that opportunity. And if you want, we can help you.
Yeah, and in a sense, that's what a wealthy life is to me. I love wandering. I know you didn't have such a great experience with property, but I love wandering into a stinky house and looking at the potential and knowing that I can turn this round and make money either for myself or for my client, but also provide a house to someone who, quite frankly, deserves a decent home. And this is what we can give them. So that blend of, again, purpose, if you like, with the finances, but something that I can also switch on and off, because I can teach when I want to, I can buy when I want to, and I go into little phases. And although I think maybe my days sound rigid, they're very much driven by the calendar as well. And And the first thing I always do is check the weather app. You probably don't have to do that quite so much in Spain. And I know that we're just in I think it's like COVID, we're in heat wave, or we're just coming up to heat wave 4. We're having a down day today, much relief. There's some wind and some cloud, which is amazing. But we're about to go back up to 30 degrees again for the weekend. Probably you're bringing the Spanish weather with you or something. But I look at my calendar, and when it says that it's going to be in anything above 25, I'm going, what can I move? What can I shift? How can I spend my day outside? But this time around, it's been so hot that I found myself waking up in the morning and working sort of like 6 to 8 in the morning. And then when it's really hot, working sort of 4 to 6 in the afternoon. And then I'm just sort of like flopping around or swimming or playing with my tomatoes or whatever else I'm doing the rest of the day. So it is, as you say, and I love the fact that you use the word ikigai. For those of you that haven't come across it, Japanese word, I believe, and it sort of means your purpose and your passion. And if you ever watch, I think it was a Netflix documentary called The Blue Zone.
Absolutely brilliant.
They were talking about, it's all well and good, right? You can have, and we could probably name people if we did a little bit of research, loads of people that have got loads of money, but they're not happy because they're divorced or they're in rubbish relations. Or loads of people that have pursued a career, got to the end of retirement, feel like they're kicked out, they're undervalued, but they've got nothing to go on to. And then maybe they sort of like lose all zest for life and fade away much earlier than they should do. Or maybe die of some illness and don't even get it as far as retirement. And then there are other people who don't plan it, so they're not focused on the finances. To actually enjoy life, there are so many bits that need to come together. And it is your health, it is your wealth, but it's also very much your purpose, your passion, and knowing, I suppose, to use one of the words that had a conversation with Jessica McGregor last week on her podcast, and we used the word permission, that you have permission to choose to have a different life than the one you were served up through education and career choices. Would you say that's similar to how you feel?
Absolutely. I think it's nail on the head, to be perfectly honest. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be here having this conversation. We wouldn't have been collaborative authors in an amazing book. I'm helping other people make those choices for themselves. I don't know, what do you say to that, Chris?
Yeah, I think permission is probably a good word. I think I go back to the word choice though, and say, you have a choice to continue doing what you've been taught to do, what you've always done, and you come to the point of retirement, if we can call it that, and you then either sit down and do nothing and get bored and play so many rounds of golf and read so many books and then basically shrivel up and go away. Or whether you choose to remain active, you choose to stay healthy, both physically and mentally. You've got to have that reason to get up in the morning. You need to in your own head be financially secure for you, whatever that is, because being financially secure is different
amount for everybody. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, for us, we add into that travel and experiences, life experiences, because they're important. They give you the drive to go and do something. And then for us, I think the last one is all about helping others. How can we help others? How can we communicate to others that there is another way?
Absolutely.
People have to make their own choice. As you say, give themselves permission to change, because we found over the years that the biggest thing that stops people is up here.
Yes.
They want to do it, but then they'll listen to their friends and family who will say, "What do you want to do that?"
Oh, we've been there. Oh, we've been there. Trust us.
Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? You've been an accountant. Why do you want to build an online business? You've been a management consultant. Carry on
Yeah.
what you're doing. It'll be all right.
Yeah, people don't like, well, none of us really like change, do we? And so it's very easy if I'm opening the door and I'm saying through there is something different, and the other people in this room are going, oh, you don't want to go through there. It will be so much harder. There are all these reasons. That's because they feel secure over here. Maybe they haven't had a trigger. Maybe they're of a different age or a different whatever. Or quite frankly, retiring on a government pension of less than $1,000 a month suits them. But if you're someone who, I don't know, just has got a sense that there could be more, it could be different, you could choose something else, please, Chris, Susan and I are opening the door. Walk through. One of the first things is grab a copy of the book on the way and walk through. But what would you say would be a realistic first step? So if we want to leave people with a something to do, what if I take to each of you in case you say something different? Let's start with Susan, just to be a different way around. Susan, what would you say would be a realistic first step for someone who's new to this conversation to actually do or consider?
Well, we normally think of these together, so I might say something completely different to what he's thinking, but I would say to really look at your own situation, and whilst financial considerations are important, and that's what your financial advisors will most probably tell you, and no disrespect to them, that you should think about, what do I want my next chapter to look like? What are the things that I want to do or need to do to give me that, I don't know what the word is, a joie de vivre, the love of life,
Yeah.
for the next maybe 30 years. I was having a conversation with a lady about this the other day, and she said, you've really made me think about that. So you're coming up to 70. You've got 30 odd years more to go. And
Still. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do in those 30 years? So I think those considerations are absolutely key.
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think.
So just before you jump in, Chris, I think that is the hook there, isn't it? You do need the money as the foundation that lies underneath. But if there isn't something that's making you happy, as you said, the joie de vivre, if it's not something there for you, no amount of money lying underneath, all the pensions and the everything else you've got, the door's open for you to go through. But if there's no passion in your life, then that's going to be a challenge. Sorry, Chris, what would yours step be, do you think?
Yeah. No. Cool. I'm gonna give you the other half to the equation.
Okay, good.
So you've got this thought, and whether you've got the money or not, to me, is not relevant at this point, because the question that you then have to ask yourself, you've made this little picture of what it's going to be like, and my question to you is, how am I going to make it happen? And that's what you then have to look at and say, right, okay, how am I going to make this happen?
And that might not be money then, from what you said to start off with.
No, because you see, we can look at our own situation and say, when we looked at our finances for retirement, they weren't going to give us what we wanted.
Right.
That's a fact.
That was the truth.
They weren't going to give us what we wanted. So we had to find another way to generate income so that we could have what we wanted. So, I'll give us the choices. So I think, depending on what your thoughts are, what's in your box that says, this is what I want to do, you've then got to decide, okay, how can I make it happen? If the first step to that is, I need to get some more money, or I need to find a different way to earn extra money, then maybe that's the first step. I need to find somebody who I can talk to who can help me do that, without working, 9 to 5, 6 days a week.
Absolutely.
And to be perfectly honest, since the internet came along, the opportunities are phenomenal. It's just a fact of life. The opportunities are phenomenal. I'm not going to say that they're all great or there aren't some bad ones in there. Of course there are. It's like, like the rest of the world, there's always some good onions or bad onions. So, you look at, that's what I think is the next thing. You have to decide, how am I going to ask the question? How am I going to make it happen? Depending on where I'm going, what's my next step? And normally that's going to be finding somebody to talk to.
Mm.
And it comes back to this thing, somebody who's done what I want to do and can give me they're not going to give you a whole plan from now to the end of the next 30 years.
Yeah, you don't want that anyway. That's what you had for the last 30. Flipping out.
Yeah, they're going to give you the next
Stepping stone.
next step. And to me, that's where you need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that bit. I thought you were going to go a different way with what do you need to make it happen? Because for me, I was thinking, well, maybe the first step for some people, depending on what age they are, because people could be listening to this in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even any age. But it might be that you just change what you're doing now. One of the things that you might change is, instead of working 5 days a week, you might work 4 days a week. So I've been speaking with someone, and she hasn't reduced her hours any, but she works what are called 4 long days and has an extra day off a week. So she has 3 days a week. So she's got a day a week to do what she wants, and still 4 days, but that's maintained her income for her. If she now does something with the income or builds another income alongside, then she'll be able to have a 4-day week, but they can go back to being short days, or maybe she can go to 3 long days and have 2 days off. So the answer for everybody is different. But I hope that for you, the listeners, if you've been listening to us, what we're saying is you've got choices. And the sooner you even just walk up to the door and peer through to see what's on the other side, the sooner you're going to be able to start to pick the first few choices that you want to work with, whether that is to reduce your hours, whether that is to grow your income, whether it's to build a second income, or whether it's just to make a plan about what you might do in 2 or 3 years from now. There is no right answer in this. There is no wrong answer in this, other than the word. It's down to you to choose how you want this whole, this is a gift. Some years ago, if we went back 100 years, you would have been lucky if you lived into your 50s. We're now sitting here, and, as Susan said, it's going to be her birthday. When you hear this, she'll have had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. She'll be 70. She's got a whole life that some other people would have given everything they had to live again in front of her. This is such an honor that we have. It's almost like we have a duty to enjoy it. Make sure that it's happy, grab it and live every minute of it, not just, be miserable. Doesn't mean to say that if you like playing golf, bowls, reading books, or gardening, that's all good too. I love that. But, bit of ikigai, a bit of connection, a bit of passion and purpose too would be brilliant, don't you think?
I do. And can I just add something in here that I actually read, I listened to this morning on Instagram, and it was a reporter speaking to a 105-year-old woman.
Wow.
And he said to her, among other things, he said, "Can I ask you to look back into your time when you were 50? What would you say to somebody who was in their 50s?" And she was spot on. She said, "I would tell them, if they don't like what they're doing now, to jolly well change it."
Yes.
Can't say anything better than that, to be honest.
No, that's a good place to stop, actually. Whether you like where you are, whether you don't like where you are, know that you can change anything that you want in your life. You just need to decide what it is. And then, as Chris said, think to that question, what is the next thing that needs to happen? I could carry on talking to you for hours, and maybe you'll have to come back, or we can have another chat some other way.
I really enjoyed it.
I just want to thank you so much for your time today. And of course, what I want to do is thank the listeners, because you know I appreciate your time. And as always, I want to repay your gift of giving me your ear with 3 insights or 3 wishes to add a bit more whoosh to your life. And so thinking about our conversations, I think choice is a big one. That's the word I wrote down, that you have a choice and it's yours to grab. Choice is an actual thing that you can grab and work with, that you can make choices, and those choices can introduce ways that you can change, and you don't have to make them big changes. They can be small changes, but it's your choice. I think the second one would be that maybe it's not all about the money. Yes, money is useful. It oils the wheels. But for example, if you need some more money or would like some more money, then having some form of residual income, whether it's through part-time work, an online business, or like I do through property, it can actually both be a key to your security and your freedom, but it must be a key to your independence. So many, we hear this word side hustle. The sheer fact that they call having a second business a side hustle. A hustle isn't a good thing. You know, it's hectic. It's all consuming. It's not something that is the key to a life of spending your time in the way you want. And again, I think that you'll have heard this probably through all of the podcasts that I've recorded this month, and particularly from Chris and Susan, that retirement isn't the end. It's like it's a second act. It's a second chapter. It can be almost as long as the life that you've just led in work. And so whether you want to test out something new, whether you want to go traveling, whether you want to spend time with your family, whether you want to be you want to choose to be you, it's your choice to write this chapter now. And of course, I think I can speak for Chris and Susan saying we would love you to share your insights from this episode. And if you haven't listened to them, please go back and listen to the other 3 with Andrew, with Anne, and with Jessica. And we'd love to hear your insights, your thoughts about what retirement means to you. So Chris and Susan, thank you so much for your time today. I really, really enjoyed speaking with you.
Yeah, we've
enjoyed it so much. As you said, there's so much more we can say. I think we might have to do part 2.
You asked all the right questions, but we did go off at the tangent.
Sorry.
Oh, I don't mind a tangent in the slightest. I love it. It's in the tangents that we find the things that we didn't know about. So obviously, I'm going to put all of the links to Chris and Susan in the show notes, so you'll find ways that you can reach out and contact them. And of course, you know that if you have got any questions, then you can always book a call with me. But let me just finish with this. Here's the big question for you. What if your best years are still ahead of you, however great it's been up until now? What if what's to come is even better? I think Chris and Susan have shown us that retirement isn't an either or thing. It's both and as well. You can be purposeful, you can be playful, you can be productive, you could be peaceful. I can't think of any more P words. Passionate, and give yourself permission. All the P's that you might want in the world, they can all be yours. But it's about designing a lifestyle that gives you the energy to do what you love, also supported by the income, preferably doing what you love as well. And it's that bit where, you know, Susan was talking about the joie de vivre. You know, that's what we want you to have. And so if this episode's got you thinking what's possible, please don't stop here. Make sure that you grab your copy of Retire Inspire 2, which has now been out for a full, good month, I reckon now. And you'll be able to read Chris and Susan's chapter on the hybrid retirement and what that means for them. And of course, there's another 21, 22 other amazing authors in there, and you'll be able to read from people who are actually doing a new form of retirement, what it means for them, their families, and their incomes. And if you want to build a wealthy life with me, then you can book that 30-minute call. Again, the link will be in the show notes. Let's make this second act one that you've been waiting for, and one that you are going to absolutely love. Chris and Susan, just a final chance to say thank you so much to you two. Thank you.
You're most welcome. We've thoroughly enjoyed it and look forward to all those people who want to share what they want.
And I will share one last thing.
Please do.
Retirement is not the time to stop.
No. Nice. Yes, definitely don't stop, because it's in stopping that you end up necessarily stopped. Keep going, but the energy, don't you think, Chris, the energy to keep, I know I've said goodbye, but we're going to carry on for a second, that the energy to keep going is what gives you the energy to keep going. But rather than you did it at work, you just kept going like a trudge. Now you're bouncing and skipping and sailing and swimming and climbing your way forward.
Absolutely right. You got it spot on there. Well done.
And of course, in the winter, skiing your way forward. Don't forget
yes, we'll be back doing that because we can ski in Granada, just 2.5 hours away from where we are.
Nice. Nicely positioned. Nicely positioned. Well, listen, I know that you're preparing for your trip back to the UK, and you've got birthdays like I have, and you've got grandchildren to see. So I just wish you a wonderful next couple of weeks. And I don't even need to wish you a wonderful retirement because I know that you've got it. But have a lovely time. Thank you both very much.
It's been a pleasure. Lovely to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.